Hello, a very good morning. Welcome to this morning edition of the Morning Focus. We brought you news, sports. It's now time for us to turn our attention to other aspects of the conversation this morning. Once again, my name is El Samuels. I'll be with you between now to exactly 10:30 a.m. when we shake that hand of departure and say goodbye to ourselves. And like we always do it right after, we'll bring you the update We'll bring you updates, and then we roll straight away to look at other stories. So we also be having some party reps joining us later in the day, and then we have conversation on the future as we soldier on for God and for country. For now, this morning, we're having some more conversation. We'll also be having party reps joining us from both the NDC and the MPP. Later on this morning's segment on how we can tackle things as a nation moving forward, and then we take your input as well. And then we'll also bring you the newspaper review segment of the programming this morning, where we tailor our attention to other sectors of the economy. We'll look at how public sector efficiency, how can government deliver better services to its people. We'll look at that this morning. We'll also be having a conversation with members from the Lekma Polyclinic. We're still looking at wellness. This time we're looking at a complementary feeding. I'll be talking about complementary feeding this morning. And then later we'll be joined by Sechiedu and his team that we have that conversation. Right after that, we have that conversation coming. I know everybody's geared up to hear something about the Black Stars. How is the Black Stars going to fare later today? We'll dive into that as well. We'll also dive into other aspects of our conversation where we'll bring you up to speed with the happenings from the rest of the world. So there are a lot packed for you this morning in terms of programming. We'll look at that as well. So stay with us. Remember the numbers 0537158638 is the numbers. You can also share your thoughts with us, share your comments, talk to us via either SMS or WhatsApp, where you send messages to us. And now I promise you, I'm going to read all the messages like I always do to make sure that we all stay on the same page. And that is what we will do. So our current affairs topic will be like a public sector efficiency. How can government provide better services to its people? Looking at the reins and what has been set up in it. We'll have that conversation later on the show as well. And then we'll bring you our African proverbs for today. African proverb for today. We'll look at it as well. We'll look at the news headlines. We'll also look at some other aspect of it. That until the lion tells the story, the hunter will always be the hero. We'll bring you more on the African proverbs as well. Then we take your input, where we get up to the point where we allow you to also give your inputs into this morning's edition of the Morning Focus. But for starters, like we always do, let's go for the scriptures brought to you in association with the Maranatha Power Ministries International. And when I talk about Maranatha Power Ministries International, it's exciting to bring you the good news that it started yesterday. The days of Elijah started yesterday. It's continuing today. Today, this morning, 10 a.m. is the time, 10 to 12:30 p.m. later this morning. Then we'll come back in the evening at 6:30 and roll it up for the rest of the day to be the evening. So the days of Elijah, make a date. You cannot mix this. Yesterday was awesome time. We're seeking the phrase by prayer and for also fasting. Prayer and fasting, we're looking into going deep into things for God to speak. We're going to cry unto God. We're going to call on him. He said, call on me and I'll answer thee and show you great and mighty things. We calling on God to show us great and mighty things. Now I want you to be a partaker of the days of Elijah. It started yesterday, running through to Sunday. You can't afford to mix it. If you love prayer, or it's a prayer time, that is a time we all put ourselves together to serve the living God. Now let's start straight away to go to our scripture for the morning from the book of Thessalonians, the chapter 5, the verse 23. And the very God of peace sanctify you wholly. I pray, God, your whole spirit and soul and body be preserved blameless unto the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. 1 Thessalonians, the chapter 5, the verse 23. Wholeness and completeness. And that was the prayer of Paul. 1 Thessalonians 5:23. The prayer of Paul, which reveals something profound. God does not work in fragments. God works in fullness. He's not interested in repairing only the visible part of lives whilst leaving the hidden areas untouched. That is God for you. His desire is for a complete transformation, spirit, soul, and body. That is what God really wants from us. Many people seek success, but God seeks wholeness. Success can make a person look complete on the outside, whilst inwardly they remain broken, anxious, bitter, or empty. Wholeness, however, is where the part of a person's life is aligned with God's purpose and sustained by his peace. And that is wholeness. Notice that Paul referred to God as the God of peace. True wholeness begins with peace, not merely the absence of problems, but the presence of God reigning in every area of your life. When God's peace rules our hearts, our minds are settled, our emotions are healed, our spirits are strengthened. And that is what God's presence does with us. Because wholeness also means allowing God access to every room in the house of our lives. Every room in the house of our lives. Many people invite him into their worship, but not in their wounds. You invite God wholly, not in your worship, but in their wound. Like I said, many of us, I'm not exceptional, but many of us invite God into our worship, but not in our wounds, into Sunday faith, but not on their daily struggles. Yet God heals when we surrender to him. And I know this, unto Jesus I surrender. You know that song. We sing it, but do we truly surround every aspect of our life to him? The area we hide are often the areas that hinders us from becoming all he created us to be. I said the areas we hide from, we hide from us. Often the area that we hide us, they hinder our progress in this life. Those areas you hide from God, even from people, what you do in the closet alone. The encouraging truth is this, that God is both the author and the finisher of our faith. So what stands, what he starts, he completes. He that has begun a good work will bring it to a perfect end. The broken pieces of yesterday do not determine the beauty of tomorrow. Hear me. The broken pieces of yesterday do not determine the beauty of tomorrow. When placed in his hand, when you place your life in God's hand, the broken pieces of yesterday will not determine your beauty for tomorrow. God is always looking forward for us to trade our ashes for his beauty. Are you ready to surrender wholly to him? To place everything in a care? Then I want you to be a partaker of the days of Elijah's prayer and fast, because some of these things do not go. Jesus said, some of these things do not just go by just prayer, but you have to add fasting. You need to wait on the Lord. You need to hear the God speak. And I believe that I'm waiting to hear God on the third day, because it's the third day he will speak to me concerning something, my next move. And he will speak to me. And that is the determination. Don't just come, but come with expectation. Come knowing that God is there. God is going to do it. So, like I said, the broken pieces of yesterday do not determine the beauty of tomorrow when placed in his hand. His grace is able to restore, rebuild, and renew. That is what God's grace is able to do. Restore, rebuild, and renew. This morning, I want you to reflect on these words. God's goal is not merely to improve your life. And I want you to hear this and hear it well. God's goal is not merely to improve your life. His goal is to make you whole, totally, complete. Wholeness is not the absence of scars. Get it? Wholeness is not the absence of scars, but the presence of God's restoring power in every area of your life. That is wholeness. This morning, I want you to trade your ashes and get a beauty by partaking in the days of Elijah, prayer, fasting, 7 days, waiting on the Lord. He said, when you pray, when you call on me, I will hear you and I will show you great and mighty things. And I keep telling God, show me that great, that mighty things. When you place your whole life in his hand. And I want you to declare with me this morning and say, I am being made whole by the power of God. My spirit is strengthened. My soul is at peace. My body is sustained by grace, and every broken area of my life is being restored according to God's perfect purpose. Amen. If you pray this prayer, I invite you to come. This morning is a second day of the days of Elijah, but we have a morning section at 10 a.m. where we end at 12:30 p.m. Then we come back later in the evening at 6 p.m. The following day, which is Wednesday, we come back at 6 p.m. again. Thursday, we come at 6 p.m. again. Then Friday, the mega all night. Oh my, oh my. I can just wait to see you there. I'm inviting you. I am inviting you to come to the days of Elijah at the Maranatha Power Ministries International. Remember, days of Elijah comes to you. It's a once in a year. So don't let this pass you by. Don't let this pass you by. Don't let this pass you by. You come as I speak with you. Join us for the days of Elijah at the Maranatha Power Ministries International, a time of a powerful worship, fervent prayer, and a life-transforming encounters with God. Come and experience the presence of God as we seek revival, as we breakthroughs, healing, and a fresh outpouring of the Spirit of God. It started yesterday evening. This morning, there's a continuation of what happened yesterday. If you want that healing, you want that restoration, be it in your business, be it in your family life, be it in your personal life, be it in your ministry, be it in every facet of your life, you need that restoration. You need that revival in your family, in the work you do, in the things you do, in your walk with God. In your walk, you want to really know that there is God. You want He's the And I always say that I place him in front and I follow. That he will make the ancients of day, will make the way maker, the miracle, the promise keeper, the covenant keeping God. I invite you to be part of today's section 10 a.m. Wherever you're listening to me, I invite you that you come and you be imparted. You come and you be restored. You come and you will be revived. Whatever God has placed in your hand that the enemy seek to destroy, God will restore you in double folds that you can do exploits in his name. I thank you. That is a season, the days of Elijah. Let me tell you something. It's a season of revival, a call to prayer, a divine encounter that awaits you as you walk into the church auditorium behind the Lekma Polyclinic, Nwa Adogono. The days of Elijah, Maranatha Power Ministry International, revival, prayer, and divine encounter. The time is 10 a.m. this morning. In the evening is at 6 p.m. But join us this morning at 10 a.m. And trust me, your life will never be the same. Jesus is still the Lord. Remember, this section was brought to you in association with the Maranatha Power Ministries International. And we crowned it all, the days of Elijah. Friday, it'll be mega all night. Then on Sunday, we have two services. The victory service at 7 a.m. and then the breakthrough service at 9 a.m. See you there. God bless you for joining us. Now, moving on, we're bringing you the African Proverbs, and we look at our weather for this morning. But before the African Proverbs, let's look at the weather today. What is the weather today? What is happening today on our weather, on our schedules as we go about our work in the Greater Accra? Remember, we told you there was a storm coming up, and then the storm was up there. So for the Accra area, expected a mostly cloudy days with the chances of morning showers. Temperatures warm, reaching around 31 degrees during the afternoon and dropping to about 25 degrees later tonight. Humidity will remain high. So it may feel hotter than the actual temperature. Carrying an umbrella is advisable, especially during the morning hours. Have a great day as you set out this morning to go to work. God bless you for joining us. We're moving on. We're bringing you other aspect of the conversation this morning. Like I just said, this morning we'll quickly run through our newspaper headlines as well as bringing you some interview sections as well. We go for that break. We'll return and we'll bring you some more. right, so welcome back. Right after that, now let's go into venture into some other conversation this morning. And this time around, we look at our proverbs for today. After coming back with our scripture focus, it's now time to turn our attention to the wisdom center. And this time around, we're looking at a person is a person because of people. That's African proverbs for this morning. A person is a person because of what? People. How do you understand it? You can share your thoughts with me on 053-715-8638. A person is a person because of people. And this is an African proverb. I mean, a proverb that's sick, that often associated with a philosophy called Ubuntu. You know, this proverb is always associated with Ubuntu. It reminds us that human beings were never created to live in isolation. Our lives are interconnected, and our growth, success, and well-being are shaped by our relationship with others. In a world that often celebrates individual achievement, the proverb teaches a deeper truth. No one succeeds alone. Behind every accomplishment is a network of people who encourage, taught, supported, pray for, challenge, or sacrifice for us. The teacher who inspires us, the parent who nurtured us, the friend who stood by us, and even the stranger who showed kindness all contributes to who we become. The proverb also speaks to our responsibility towards others. If our humility is strengthened through community, then we are called to uplift those around us. Our words can heal or wound. Our actions can build or destroy. Every act of kindness, compassion, and understanding helps create stronger and more human society. From a spiritual perspective, God designed us for relationship, first with Him, then with one another. The Bible teaches that we are members of one body, each needing the other. When one person suffers, we all feel the impact. When the one person strives, the whole community benefits. The greatest tragedy is not a lack of wealth or status, but lack of meaningful connection. That is the greatest tragedy. Let me repeat this again. I said the greatest tragedy is not lack of wealth or status, but lack of meaningful connection. A person may possess riches and influence, yet remain empty if they have no genuine relationships. True fulfillment comes not merely from what we achieve, but from how we love, serve, and impact others. And I want you to ask yourself very simple questions this morning. Who has helped shape the person I am today? Look around you. Ask yourself the question. Who has shaped the person I am today? Then number two, how am I contributing to the lives of others? How am I contributing to the life of others? 3, am I building bridges or walls in my relationship? Am I building bridges or walls in my relationship? These are the 3 questions I want you to ask yourself. The key lesson from this proverb is your humility is revealed not only in how you treat people, but how much you recognize your need for them. I say your humility is not revealed in how you treat people, but also how much you recognize your need for them. We become our best selves when we help others become theirs. And that is it for this morning on African proverbs. And that takes us to another center of as we move on. Our front burner this morning, we're going to look at so many things. Can Ghana political, business, religious, and civil leaders find common grounds on issues that matter most to ordinary Ghanaians? That's a key question I'm asking. National unity, shared prosperity. How do we build Ghana that works for everybody? The question I'm asking, how do we build Ghana that works for everybody? How do we build this country that works for everybody? Because we are looking at, yesterday I spoke to Apostle Lambert. He's a chaplain from the presidency on the national prayer and thanksgiving. I keep asking this question to myself. And then I look at the team resetting our values to build the Ghana we want. But I ask myself, how? National unity and shared prosperity. How do we build a Ghana that works for everybody? 0537158638 is the numbers. You basically ekura Ghana obibi wombiano Ghana be yejuma mandipano like Nkombatono. How? What are the things we need to do? 0537158638 is a question I'm asking you and I. How do we build a Ghana that works for everyone? How? That's the question. Because if we are able to find out how we can build this nation that works for everybody, then there's a moving forward. Then we know the things we need to do to be able to build that Ghana that will work for you and I, for the generations to come. So I'm asking this question on our front burner this morning as how do we build a Ghana that works for everyone? Can Ghana politics, political, business, religious, and civil leaders find a common ground on the issues that matters most to the ordinary Ghanaian? 0537158638 is the numbers, and that's a question for this morning. For this week, national unity, shared responsibility. Don't forget that 1st July is just around the corner for the national prayer and thanksgiving service. And I'm asking you this morning, how do we build a Ghana that works for everyone if we want to reset our values and build a Ghana we want? How do we build a Ghana that works for everybody? PCR, are you ready there, in there? Check my phones for me. And then let's get started. 0537158638. I want to hear from you. How do we build a Ghana that works for all of us? The numbers on your screen. When you call me, please lower the volume on your TV set and let's have this conversation. Ghana is all that we have. Ghana is all that we have. How do we build a Ghana that works for you and I, for everyone? Not just selected few, but for everyone. How do we do that? 0537158638. And the question I'm asking, can Ghana political, business, religious, and civic leaders find a common ground on issues that matters most to ordinary Ghanaians? Can they? 0537158638 is the numbers. You can let us hear from you right now, right here. On the morning focus, we are listening to your channel, and now no pemino eltri sound komo anope ebisa say na 1st July you see prayer and thanksgiving service. Team near resetting our values. There's so much indiscipline in our system. Can we be honest for one? Can we build a nation without integrity? Yama yebisa, I don't know. Maybe no place. Now so a dinner or see a ya bit to me. I'm a Ghana ye Ghana. Obi bia benya home faso. Obi bia don't say Ghana ye jumamano. Obi bia because me my dear. Into me from me my mon baby. Yensum Yeninipa 053-715-8638. And numbers are also obey. Don't forget a week we end the pet year July mo. No. Na 1st July ebetoye 053-715-8638, because the Ghana's greatest challenge may not be lack of resources, talent, or potential, but our ability to unite around a common national vision. Whilst political parties compete for power, businesses seek growth, religious leaders shape values. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Your name and where you're reaching us live from?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Slide. Inside.
I'm afraid that I was in a program. I think the first time I missed it. Now, imagine saying, so actually, was all my in this discipline. I was here starting every day as well. On my mom penny for Nakasana, first of all, and you are saying your boom. So my overcome now the better things, they will be at the same. The penny, a woman, you know, can show me saying better now or mount in penny for not anything from yen party, you know, for no only thing from what's your minor in a sanity or in affinity or man. May I say?
That was my first call, and we asking a simple question: national unity, shared prosperity. How do we build a Ghana that works for everyone? Because the national prayer and thanksgiving is 1st of July. The team resetting our values and building the Ghana we want. And this morning, MBN, we are asking a very simple question on the morning focus: how do we build a Ghana that works for everyone? 053-715-8638 is the number. So to be to me, I share what you boba your tower, no care. Noni who feel like a care of fear, a banyewa, a Ghana fame or fear me by share. My country, there's discipline, there's integrity, there's this honesty, we are meek, we are human. I mean, all the attributes you can think of, you can find it here. Because I always say that Ghana's greatest challenge may not be lack of. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am from Ken David from Kumasi.
Ken David Kumasi NTO Ken.
Me pacho ade ba ko woman say o man pending for no say yen to me and sachira o ma dwene e wo niam bi hu a ebema o man no ate asan eni say pending for no so musuru nyankopon ye tosu menu so say MPP NDC ni na no e wo say clear wo mu nyina na ye bom pai ye Ghana man nyina ye bom pai ye Emma o my money nyina Urade kasa no no yi kandini ma o man no na se ye de honam sem koto aba ye yiwe ni ama Urade abasa ni papa amfa na amade a o man we nyaade a ebetimi akonkan na se ma o no
yo me da say amen Urade nshira won so 053-715-8638. But my co-driver has joined Dinah Mamle Sakitik. Dinah, good morning.
Good morning, El.
How are you doing?
I'm very good.
I know you are fired up for the games already. Yeah, because today is the day. I can see that. Yeah. But I'm asking the same question to you before we come to talk about the Black Stars. How do we build a Ghana that works for everyone? And I'm saying that the greatest challenge may not be the lack of talent or resources or potential, but our ability to unite around a common national vision. While political parties compete for power, businesses seek growth, religious leaders shape values, civil society advocate for change, many Ghanaians continue to grapple with unemployment, rising living costs, inadequate infrastructure, and unequal opportunities. So I'm asking, the question is whether the nation's key stakeholders can move beyond partisan interests and work for the country.
We can do that. I think we can move beyond partisan interest and work for the party. What we have to, for me, I think what we have to look at, the first thing we have to tackle is the mindset of people. And you can't change the mindset of your people when they are not willing to change. We have been talking about attitudes, lack of employment, and all of that. Can you imagine the number of people, individuals that have opened businesses and employed people, yet their attitudes are destroying the businesses? These same people will lose their jobs and go out there shouting and ranting that there are no jobs. Yet they don't know their attitudes is fighting against the jobs people have created. We don't have to sit back and wait for every 4 years to vote a particular person or a particular party of government.
There's a call on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Apani.
Winnie, I'm back here for saying Alfred Fee.
Dawood Abubakar.
Dawood. You too, Dawood, now for Fee.
Me pacho me kase free offenso.
Okay, Dawood yenti wana pay.
None of Radin Shram on Jumadi Amudi.
Amen.
Adiaba Kwan woman said, "Oh my Ghana na Casano." He say, "A moon penny 40 na, moon penny 40 na, yes, a sound woman na. A moon penny 40 na, yes, a sound woman na." Adiaba could say, Adia, a course why I can say, Pani said, "Usha Kwaya, Ghana penny 40 or mine in Mamswa, a Rahusem, a Yarahusem, a Mantia bre, a Maba web bre, or one you know, mine. When you see Kana and Masam Mabawa, any near Mabasa, Basa. Leaders Nanya Tenefo, they are not righteous people. Or what you call no champana. What I say now, Kuna Cassia, which is also on my mooning in a jar, also the tenene and the tenason and Yankupo and Mugru, Okasa, and Rade, and Mugru, Saniama or Mino. What is what Bonin a Wuji? Fama young getting see firma woman, young minimum mano, a minor you to home, a brantia bread, a maba wear bread. It's a more woman near Jumanye. It's they say Usha, woman now, woman near Kogu Galam says so. Because what done any bar or mine more, and I say Kurunimua, we near Jumabianye, we near Jumabianye, and a man maba one, you know, down woman near Kogu Kurasie, and woman near Galam say. And a one woman, and say, I bind me a yes, such a you soon well, Radiso. Nobody didn't pa or the poor mino at the nepa. And mighty woo, a maba will woo, who shagalam say a woman yet, and that Ghana Yens Winnie na, Yens Winnie, Nancy, so shall set to toy with a one cassa checky. Nansaya. And so shall set to you with a watch and near ma a cosso. And swear ye for the ya, and swear you call was sunny a day, swear ye from Crawford time, and Colony to my year. So Ghana need a change. We need to change the leaders. MPP phone call, NDC phone call. Yo, Pia, and the Ghana, Yena no bacco. You need something for when you have free walk, Namfa, Hotombra or Mino. A radish ram or none of any media moody.
Amen. Yamin Shraon. So have a great morning out there. The question is very simple one: national unity, shared prosperity. How do we build a Ghana that works for everyone? How do we build a Ghana that works for everyone? That's the question we're asking this morning on the front banner before we check out the headlines of the various newspapers that have come in this morning. We hear the Kantanka security license has been pulled out because one, uniform, 2, emanations uncalled for. That's what be a jago because ta 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 ta. I mean, what nonsense? What because Oko Sevi an injunction letter? So you need to kill, forget and say, oh no, ye penny we bushianum. Ukunu no hene because of prosperity. And then be the woman who said, at the end, young Jama wine. Ye Jimmy who cried.
I say,
it doesn't really order
We
well.
spoke about it.
No,
We
I
gave-
mean, what is
we
the
gave-
essence of
we
this?
gave a classical example.
The man who built the onoko munsie no mpo.
Yeah.
Ana mo ye ne mo ye mu kum ho.
Over someone's
Well, you know, there's one thing I love about my late father. One day I walked to him and I said, Daddy, I need this money to do ABCD. Then he looked at me and smiled. He has a way of giving you some plastic smile. And he said, you know what? I know my family. I know what they can do. But I want you to create your wealth in a sense that I wasn't born with a golden spoon in my mouth. I created it. I want you to create it because you have a God that brought you. So God has a plan for you. So go follow the precept. And I will teach you to go to create your wealth. So that tomorrow when I'm no more and they are fighting, you leave them to fight over it. They can kill themselves over it and stay away from it. And that was something that changed my psychic. And I said, are you going to give me the money? He said, I'm not going to give you. You have to find a way to make it. Then I said, me, I'll get money. So, but I'll not be waiting for you. While you're getting it, I'll also be getting. And so then when you died, I'll continue say until I die. But as long as I'm alive, you not get close to me. And this is so. I think it's about time for us to begin to build family and build them in the foundations that knows that look.
The Bible
The
says,
Bible,
train a child
the way they should go, so that when they grow, he will not depart
there
from
are
it.
things that they are so principled.
You can't run away from it.
So, Bishop and one other man of God said this thing some time ago, that everything we see, everything that shapes our behaviors, our attitudes, our mindset is in the Bible. It's a complete book. So when the Bible says train a child the way he should go and when he grows he will not depart from it, it is telling you that train that child to understand and know that whatever you acquire on this earth, one day you will live.
You will live it. So you train somebody else.
You don't fight over unnecessary things. It may be necessary to you today,
But it might not be.
but tomorrow it may not be necessary.
Yeah.
Is it necessary at all to take another person's life because of something that is so temporal?
Well, so because of something that is so temporal, this morning we're asking that very simple question: how do we build a Ghana that works for everyone? 053-715-8638. Can I ask this question?
Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning. What's your friend will say our kutu?
Okay, Osei Awakoto. Mebacho free.
Ya kase free kumase.
Okay, Osei Yetio.
I'm saying ya bidi kai kasa ya friend Dawood.
Yes.
Asem no kan ya no e yade a eto asem asumu pa. Say ya hwe so etoto ye no a wa utimu say eniema a ekoso no e wo man ni mo no enye. Say yeto man mu na say ye hwe o man ni ye. Na say ye ma o man ni mu tima bufu su o mu pre a dachi bi na be dan no me ama ye ankasa. Ti e be srega na company fo ye de ni die bu ama wo mu. Ye hwe ye papa Kwame Nkrumah oji o man Ghana siwa. Enye sei na papa Kwame Nkrumah ye no. Ye papa Kwame Nkrumah dwen o man no ho adwen pa. Ba ye sre enenchirima ba o mu kura o man ni mu no. O mu ma pepe yo enye adwuma. Na wo mu nwini enchirima ho. Ene emaba wane mrantie bra na ebre. Ene hwe emrantie ma o mu so a na o mu nam du Libya kwan so wo na o mu wuo. Emrantie ni maba wa wuo Libya kwan so hwe ahokyire nti Ghana fo ma o mu so South Africa. Ye kunkum nipa ye pun krofo ma se wo mo wacha se ni nyina ne se adwuma eni wo man ni ne se wo kom kan a bisa won se akra adwuma be pa na wo ho a youth eye enipa ni nyasempo ataku a no no akohihye ni dwa no akogina traffic mu no oton na ka ebubo bi no. It's very bad. We need a change in this country. Adie ba ko awo ma ehu kase pa ne se emrante ne wo kuroma o munya adwuma anye wo behwe na wo ya twese kan na odi akwo we ko robu we ko ji we hu niama etisesi wo matena se hu se adwuma ni ba bia to mo ma o mo so straight to galamsey na o ma ko dige forma na asasi bukum emrante emabawa. It's a shameful to this country. We need a change. I was say a binding me Lunina Satra, yes, woman, yet you need your mawam titru papa John Mahama, yet the bony and Nidia Manapa, by your best threat, the anima con, and Kaye, Kura, Moye. A more minor, a more mining concan, a more mining tupon, a more mining fanning to my panya de infra, or my Ghana, or my ananke gold coast, I change it to Ghana. And the 21st century away, she send your my Ghana, and you know, do any move, and your ma a cosso. With a Shakumasi to a crowd road, Chakumasi to a crowd road. Almost says a one more year, which I said, and he say, and I can't share, and none of my background, and Nipa and woman, when it cash shuffle, I don't know, say, Baza. It's very bad. So Ghana need a change. Ghana need a change. A brand any upgrade, so woman knew one year to Madia, a bedu babino, and brand about the Soviet Yawon, and brand Jebecon, must sorry at Yao mine. A Radisha.
Amen. Thank you so much. I think this topic I need to treat it again holistically because
you really have to.
I was looking at the National Prayer and Thanksgiving Service, which is slated for the 1st of July. So whilst I was lying down going through, okay, what is the plan like for then this thing dropped that how national unity and shared prosperity, how do we make Ghana works for everyone? Because if we say we are resetting our values to build the Ghana we want, so how do we build the Ghana that works for everyone? Yeah. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Bebacho Udini baby of Frefi. Bebacho ma TV no volume non conform mama say. Okay, enti kasa yeti o yanko. Etieo Minia. A very good morning to you. Enchibia, the front banner, you better draw curtain on the front banner. Into BB Kaka, need to be 9 on the front banner. So you can also share your thoughts with us as quickly as possible before we move to the other segment on the morning focus. 4 minutes now, you be try and we about pet the headlines not twice. So now any like man for train come na a party for no so abetenase na ya train come another pay. We will also be looking at this same question is whether the nation's key stakeholders can move beyond partisan interests and work together on issues that affect the ordinary Ghanaian. Can Ghana build a consensus on education, healthcare, job creation, industrialization, and economic stability that transcends elections cycles? These are the things we want to look at this morning. Hello, good morning. All right, so yes, so back to you and on the front banner again.
Yeah.
I was asking that. I mean, what are the biggest obstacles preventing national unity in Ghana today?
Well, I think that once again it's mindset, because we've been having this conversation from various angles. Not now. It's been long. We've been talking about national unity. For the unity, I think it's there, but the citizenry have some kind of expectation from leadership. leadership have some sort of expectation from the citizen. Now, people feel like because I am eligible to vote and to elect a leader, the moment I elect that leader, these are my expectations, A, B, C, D. They have to make sure that they do those things for me. Now, forgetting that we, the citizenry that we are electing those leaders, have a responsibility. The question is, have we been able to live our responsibility? That is what I think we should be looking at. Because if we haven't been able to live up to our expectation or live to our responsibilities, then it doesn't mean that we cannot question our leaders. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that we also have to be mindful of our responsibility as citizens. Because tell me why you are employed. Now, we are talking about unemployment. At least there are some employment available. The question is, those that are employed, how are they handling it in the first place?
Those that are employed, how are they handling in the first place? I was asking my colleague, what is the biggest obstacle preventing national unity in Ghana today? Because national unity in Ghana is shaped by many strengths. But several deep and reoccurring challenges continue to test the cohesion across the political and social and economic lines. And I believe polarization is one of our biggest obstacles as a nation. One of the most significant barriers is a strong winner-takes-all political culture. And that is...
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name, where are you calling from?
Please, I'm calling from Kumasi.
Kumasi.
Yeah.
Okay, so within...
me patrol nano pay me pesa me kan say ya papa John Dramani Mahama Eradi Shirano ya bona baso ewu media wodi na ye be sere ene ano pay no onfa ne nsi fom yini aba adwa safutu no a omoto ye ne de onfa ne nsi fom only politics is na refree na onfa ne nsi fom yi hu say ampa why pap or genuine because Adina is a idea a issue of my name. Say the people that the minister will take care of me. They have power that they don't to crew. When the Kuma said, why you're not in the room, I was so complaining to my young man, Mahama, but it's very phone. I was sad enough as you do. Nipa na aboa enti saa fo no wo di se tuma no ene wo wo ma saa wo dani na no ye sre o fa ne ni fo na wo kam asem because asem we na aba no e ya asem a e ye udie se senga ye nya ba ne ni nya wo fo ne fa fa mu a saa ti wo mu wa hye ne kwa wo ba wo abushia wo ja wo enti ye ne politics sem ni tuma Papa John Dramani Mahama ade nam so edene eti ye mame adwa safo asem na aba no fa ne nsi fo na asotwi bi e fata wo wo bi der ma no fa na wo mo e ba sa o ba na ne nya no e bi so na fi sere no o ba ye u si san bi se wa ma ekuafo aye mo e sere no ekuafo no wo che wo mo ekuafo no so to se ya o ni sa Sika sika ya kikabia ni besa onye onjuja ni na mawo na embassy demra and after the threat and say open the sifo open the sifo mo na say wo apart from no there ya bona baso kwaya die ya shofanya ofa so ma Ghana Blaster wo ye so clear ma coach kura wo ko le kodi kudi ma gba dia ba sabe mo a de mu so mo fani Don Dramani Mahama wo bol mo moten and ta papa na chi ne go na mo de na advance afọ ade no otu na mo agadi jai agadi jabu ba ne ma pa mo ya fa wo sure kama pa ntuma die no kama se no ti bro ma se wo ne oku agadi jamu wani mo e be ni wa
yo ya te amen Reading Council A very good morning to all the folks in the Ashanti region, the Bono and its environs across all the 16 regions of the nation where our signals are. We both on satellite as well as digital. You do business with us and you will never regret it because we are across the entire country. We are national TV. And also we cross over to the borders of the country, to the West African zone, and we're live across the world via our social media handles as well. So you can also join us. Those on the social media can send your messages, get the conversation on the YouTube as well as the Facebook. Let's get a conversation rolling on 053-715-8638 on the phone. But you go on the social, send your conversation, chat me. Let's have the chat on the social media as well. And let's keep rolling. An interesting time await us. I'll be going for a break. When we return, we'll do just one call. Then we go for a break. When we come back, we look at what is the kick-off time for Ghana versus England. Big game coming up later today. Everybody's gearing up to see how the Blasters fare. You know, there was a question that was posted yesterday to our skipper, and the president said, this is the first time Ghana. And I said, no, that reporter has no history.
The first time what?
Ghana has won its first game,
Oh.
which is not true. Our first game, we won the first game when we beat Serbia by a goal to nil. It's the first game.
Maybe
The first game. And what win the first game now? Second game I won.
Yeah, man.
No. Second game, no. You can't beat us. You cannot. You cannot beat us in our second game because I remember in 2010, South Africa, our first game was against Serbia.
With those people that go back.
We scored them a goal. Yeah, a goal to nil. And then our second game we drew with Australia 1-1 before losing 1-0 to Germany. And we qualified from that group. 2014, we lost 2-1 to the US in the first game. We drew 2-2 with Germany, and then we lost 2-1 to Portugal. And those times we have two European teams in our side. This time around, 2006, we lost our first game 2-0 to Italy. We won 2-0 against Czech. We won 2-1 against the US of A. We had 2 wins in that game, in that tournament. This time, we don't lose our second game.
No.
You know, all the games we played, we will play the most porous game, but you can't beat us. Second game, you cannot beat
You
us.
can't do that.
Forget about it. England,
We are
forget
either
it.
coming with a draw.
The point is this: England, forget it.
Forget it. Go back.
Forget it. You anger it. If you score, we'll
We
score.
will join our South African friends to tell you go back.
Go back. Because I remember 2022, Credit Walker was shot. Then so we lost 3-2 to Portugal in our first game. Our second game, we beat South Korea 3-2. We beat South Korea
in our
3-2.
lowest.
Even in our lower, and even when our first, well, as for our second game, there, anybody want to go and bet, you can go and bet. You go winner. We will not lose this game. The worst will be a draw. We won't lose it. No, there is no way we will lose it. Because we will beat Croatia by go to nil.
Yeah.
It will shock everybody. This World Cup.
The confidence we are backing, we that are not even on the pitch, our confidence level is above the roof. Those of us that don't even know how to kick a ball, our confidence level is above the roof, not to talk of our players.
You know, there's one thing that I always want to follow the statistics, the histories that goes with us. And checking by history, if history will have a part to play today, then we aren't losing this game.
Yeah.
No, we aren't losing. If it's that pattern we are going with, we aren't losing this game. Because I remember 2010, we won our first game, we drew our second game. Yeah, we won our first game, we drew. And this time around, we aren't going to lose a game in our group stage. No. The story is going to change. This time. We are pressing a coin in the economy.
The interview Partey granted, and I loved it. I mean, I'm partial when it comes to him, but then anything he does is good in my eyes.
All right, so we're going for that quick break. When we return, now we bring you the headline stories on the various newspapers. Stay with us. All right, so welcome back from the quick break. You're still live on the morning focus. It's now time for us to turn our attention. I want to say a big thank you to all those who contributed to the front banner, question of the day, and the answers all the way from across the country who phone in to also suggest what they think we should be doing as a nation to move this country forward, that Ghana can work for everybody. We have some more conversation on this going forward. But now time for us to look at the newspapers. And right after that, we have a conversation in studio. We start with the Business and Financial Times. Let's do some business this morning. Now, first paper, the power and leadership, institutions, governance, and market. Institutions becomes what they reward. And that's also a feature story there. Then we have the feature story, a life of discipline, excellence, and quiet impact, celebrating Samuel Koblan Sedo at 90 is also there. If you want to see how he's celebrated. Pierre Curie's petroleum-funded road project in the Volta region, page 3 has a story. In mining sectors, GSE footprint minimal. Sanitation, Zoom Lion begins nationwide fumigation in Accra. Amananu Community Bank delivers impressive operational performance. And those are the stories on the Business and Financial Times, BFNT. Okay.
Away from the Business and Financial Times, let's do the Overseer. The Overseer says NDC Honest Rawlings renames national headquarters after him. And private security firm cannot legally arm guards for self-protection. And this is coming from Dr. Adam Bona. He's a security expert. And police summon Kwejo Safo Akofina over shooting incidents involving former Domi Kwabinya MP. And Parliament to engage DRIP Secretariat over flood-damaged roads in Eastern Region. The thing about the Ajo Safo's issue and the brother is that this is a lawmaker you are dealing with.
Yeah.
Aside family and whatever, this is a lawmaker. So, I don't know actually what he was thinking, but...
I don't know, maybe, you know, second ones are always a problematic.
Second ones,
Check through Bible.
Always.
Oh no, check through Bible.
Okay.
It's always
Maybe my second one is different.
no. What I'm saying is that if you don't deal with them from the beginning,
Okay.
they always want to prove that they are the leaders of the family, and it's with the second bonds. Check it from history, from Bible. All second bonds are troublemakers. It's just a few, depending on how the families were able to tap them off. Other than that, especially when the one is a female and the second is a male, they want to dominate. That's the way they behave. And if it's a female, it's another trouble altogether. So depending on how they are trained and they make up to you to look up to the senior and to know that he's your boss, he's your senior, like troubles now.
See, no matter gender, if someone is older, the person is older.
No, that is it.
It's just that our culture trains us to understand that even if you are the older one and you happen to be a female, the younger
a man
one
is still a man.
Yes.
No, but the point is that
But you see, that, like you are saying, it's the upbringing.
Yeah.
My younger brother knows that I'm the big sister.
Yeah.
And there are things that I'll push it to him to decide. You understand? Giving him that respect as a man. But then he should not forget. He must always acknowledge that this person is the older one. And I must give her that honor. So what is this way?
And the point is that if
she decides to give you that opportunity as a man, being the older sibling by the female, fine. If she decides to take it over and handle things as the oldest or the elderly one.
Because the point is that, you see, it's something biblically, you need to look at it from a family perspective. Then you, as an individual, you need to deal with it from the foundation, from the beginning, before they grow up to that level. If it's not dealt with, and you let it, and then there be or the other more trouble. And that is, I'm not surprised this thing is happening. I'm not. Yes, I'm not. So, moving on, I think families will have to take a cue and watch it up, because every second want to dominate. Every second want to dominate. If you give them that space, they will be like they are rather the grown-ups. Yeah. And something that needs to be dealt with holistically.
Especially if they are males.
Yes, holistically.
Sometimes they feel like you are a woman, why do you want to take my, that kind of thing.
But it doesn't happen like that.
Yeah.
Well, so is that the stories there?
Yeah.
On the overseer. Now let's do the catalyst with the former president. It's in the front page. The former late president, Jerry John Rawlings, in the front page in his white and black attire. Oh my. Legacy, loyalty, and leadership. NDC pays historic tribute to the founder. And I think NDC did well. The National Democratic Congress on Monday, the legacy of the founder, former President Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, into the institutional history of the party by officially renaming its national headquarters in Accra, Jerry John Rawlings House, and unveiling a birth in an honor. The ceremony, held on June 22nd to coincide with Rawlings' birthday, brought together the President, John Dramani Mahama, senior party executive, members of parliament, ministers of state, members of the Council of Elders, traditional leaders, diplomats, party faithful, and members of the Rawlings family. The event marked one of the most significant tribute paid to the late former president since his passing in November 2020, and underscored the NDC's determination to preserve the legacy of the man widely regarded as the architect of the party. So NDC honoring him yesterday. Mahama calls for renewal of Rawlings' ideals. Probity, accountability is also there. Christo Asafo, militia or private security, is a question that is being asked on the front page of the Catalyst.
Yeah. Away from that, let's do the Hawk newspaper. Goldboard wins gold in London. So who do they give the gold to?
I think it's just an award on paper, not the gold bar itself. Like I went ask Sammy Jeffy,
you are gold board, so give the gold to Sammy.
I say Sammy, we're sure he gonna sure if you to my powder.
Okay, and energy reforms driving industry and trade. This is coming from Jinapo. Abrado sounds red alert over food reserve cash gap. IGP sent crack squad to Nkwanta. Special units deployed as tension fire. Residents fear for safety. The big story here says NPP rebels demand Kennedy's head before 2027 shutdown.
Well, let them show themselves down. That's their matter. The Spider says unspoken voices projected lines to transform lives of Kayaye and widows. Voter Regional Minister declares era of intimidation over. Fire in Antama, NPP chair seizes voting materials, accuses Asensu Bwachi of manipulation. Father's Day, Dr. Julius Deborah urges men to embrace faith and perseverance. Adumbrebe family finally gets a chief as Malik Ose Bekun chickens out. Story on the Spider.
Away from the Spider, the Daybreak actually says electricity tariffs up 3.49%, water 0.85%, effective 1st July. And bring on England. Okay, so party is calling England to bring it on.
Yeah, bring it
ready?
on, bring it
for
on,
showdown, my
I
guy.
like that song, you know.
My guy, you know how we do it from where we come from. Yeah, the young men from Odumase are built with so much courage and strength.
Thomas Party.
So
Mono
Thomas Party, Mono, show them something.
Bring it
Let
on.
them know where
bring
you
it
are
on,
from.
Bring it on.
Okay, so away from that, by-election loans. Is Asante Achim North parliamentary seat vacant?
It's a big question. We're not even hearing what's going on with him now.
Yeah. Is it vacant?
Now, the spokesperson who's been talking more for him, I don't hear the Fiamma saying anything about it again.
My very own Roxanne Nelson. And boss denying contamination claims at Kumasi Depot. Boss Energies. Grab a copy of the Daybreak and get details of these stories.
Then you have the Chronicle, big banner headline, Adwa Safo shooting saga, Safo Akofina in police custody, 2 pistols, casualty of ammunition recovered. Berima Sapo reconnects with constituents, and you have the Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you, and you have only to be still.
All right.
Chronicle.
Okay, that's it with the Chronicles,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Let's do the archives. The archives says corrupt citizens are termites. Let's smoke them out.
Like this, sieve them. After sieve them.
Yeah. You see what I was talking about?
Sieve
We
them.
want to see a country that is problem free. Yes. The citizens.
Corrupt citizens are termites.
Yes.
Let's smoke them out.
Smoke them
Smoke
out.
them.
Smoke them out.
Sieve them. Like the Bible
Them
said,
powder.
Jesus said to Peter, the enemy, Satan, want to sieve you, right?
Yeah. And is it Nchira?
Inchira SHS.
Violence in Chira SHS students brutally slaps junior over missing phone as SHS discipline worsens.
Listen, discipline on our campuses. You see?
Maybe they can be.
No, you see, let me show you something.
The right for teachers to discipline children taking away.
we've given students too much rights in the SHS level, and it's creating problems.
Are they allowed to use mobile phones now?
No, some seniors uses mobile phone as small.
I'm telling you.
I hear laptops.
When your phone gets missing, you can't say it.
I hear laptops.
You can't say it because we are not going to
I'm at
search the
campus.
phone.
I'm at Vesakawai campus. They are on campus driving cars.
This issue
We're giving them too much power. and is now eating us. We should go back to the old landmarks and stop this thing which is creating problems for us. Why I do lele kitchen? We should stop it. There are certain treaties you don't go and sign them.
Now you want to complain. You can't do that. Okay, so Iyoko investigator drops bombshell in a Dubai trial. Reveals no cyber defense system delivered despite 49.1 million Ghana cedis spent. Okay, so if it wasn't delivered, what was the money used for? Bantama MP boils over selfish interest manipulation.
All right.
Grab a copy of the archives.
Now we do the final newspaper this morning. Is the matter of all newspapers, the Daily Graphic. NDC names headquarters after Rawlings. Flood claims 18 lives in the central region. That's a sad story in the 21st century Ghana, that we let flood to kill our people. Very sad and very bad. Their blood will be on our hands because we've been sick. No, I mean on the leaders there. Those who also encroaches on the lands that are waterways, their blood will be on your hands. Is that you see on the front page where the president and then the families of the Rawlinses and the leadership of the NDC, where the name was given to them. Then we have the big one in there. We have Antoine Semenyo and Hurricane on the front page of the Daily Graphic. It's a Ghana-England cliffhanger. They settle old scores tonight.
Hey.
And we will settle the old scores tonight.
I like the headline. By
it's a cliffhanger.
Daily Graphic.
And then we need to settle the old scores tonight. And what about trying to go then you call homework, but man, you can powder about foot here, can mirror in your hair, we have reparatory. We have to deal with you today, and we go deal with you. We are collecting everything. When you try no go England, you try shege. We'll do you shege today. We go for a break. We'll be back. All right, so welcome back. Right after the newspaper headlines, it's now time for us to turn our attention to another conversation this morning. Today is Tuesday. Remember, every Tuesday we'll bring you the health aspect of our conversation. And I want to say a very good morning to you and welcome to the health segment on the Morning Focus. Today we are focusing on a very important stage in child's development, complementary feeding. And this is a period when a baby begins to receive food and liquid in addition to breast milk, and usually from 6 months and above. Whilst breastfeeding remains essential, the stage is critical because it determines a child's growth, the brain development, immunity, and overall health. Poor feeding practices at this stage can lead to malnutrition, stunt growth, and long-term health challenges. On the other hand, proper complementary feeding lays a strong foundation for a healthy future. To guide us through this important conversation, we are joined by Madam Winifred Atuto.
Yes.
Right, a nutritionist at the Lekma Polyclinic. Very soon it will be Nwa Polyclinic. She will help us understand what and when and how. I didn't mention that she's going to help us understand what, when, and how, right? To introduce foods to infants safely and effectively. And that is what we're going to look at this morning. So complementary feeding, we say, begins when breast milk alone is no longer sufficient to meet the baby's nutritional needs. Around 6 months, I've given you the preambles, around 6 months, children need additional energy, protein, vitamins, and minerals to support rapid growth. However, many caregivers face challenges such as introducing food too early or too late, lack of knowledge about balanced infant diet, poor food inconsistency, hygiene practices, and economic constraint affecting food varieties. And this makes education on complementary feeding very important for parents, caregivers, and family. So now my question is, at what exact age should complementary feeding begin, and why is timing so important?
Okay, thank you very much.
So let me say good morning.
Good morning.
Mrs. Atuto.
Yes.
You're looking good.
Thank you.
And okay, I won't say anything. I know Mr. Atuto is watching. You told him to watch, to see you sit on the screen.
No, he's not here, so.
But he can still watch us. He can watch us on the social media. But Echo, Mr. Atuto, like, hey, wherever you are, how do we say it? Good morning to you, sir. I salute you for making Madam Atuto look so great this morning with us. So like I said, at what exact age should complementary feeding begins, and why is the timing so important?
Okay, thank you very much. So complementary feeding should start exactly at 6 months. The day the child is 6 months, that particular day.
Okay.
The reason being that by 6 months, the strength of the breast milk in terms of nutrient contents has reduced like about 20%. So there is a need for additional nutrient from the food that we have around us to add to it. So that is why it's essential that by 6 months or at 6 months, the child starts complementary feeding.
Wow. But you said breastfeeding should be 2 years.
Yes.
So now if we know that the first 6 months, the nutrients, the minerals, strength lowers, why 2 years?
So from 0 to 2 years, though 6 months, it has reduced by 20%. It means there's about 80% nutrient content. And this continues all the way to 2 years. So by 2 years.
80% to 2 years. So you need 20%
in
complementary
addition.
food.
But as the age goes up, that percentage drops.
It keeps dropping.
By 2 years.
So another 6 months, it might drop again to maybe 60%.
Yes, please.
Another 6 months, it will drop to maybe 40%. Then by 2 years, everything is
there.
Oh my goodness. So what is the first recommended food for a baby starting complementary feeding?
So any food. Let me put it that way.
Fufu.
As long as you can make it very soft, like
Fufu?
mashed. Yes,
Fufu?
like very, very, very soft
Because some
mashed.
kids will want to eat kinky.
Yes.
Even from 2 months, they want to
Yes.
eat good food.
So ideally, 6 months.
They are on the earth. They want to eat good food.
The food should be pureed.
Okay.
So if the food can be in a form of pureed, cool. And as long as the child can actually consume it and swallow it, that is okay. But we are saying that whatever food you want to give to the child at 6 months, it should be in a pureed form.
Okay.
Thick, not watery. People believe that it should be as watery as the breast milk because the child knows like the breast milk being not so thick, so the child can swallow. But we are saying at 6 months, the porridge should be thick, or the poto should be thick. So irrespective of what you are giving the child, it should be thick enough. When you are pouring from the spoon, it shouldn't like pour. It should be kind of like
Take some time to fall. So in a pure form, but not too light.
Yes. The reason being that at that stage, the child's stomach is as small as a fist, very tiny. So you are supposed to give about 2 tablespoons of food. So if the food is light, the nutrient density is not much.
It's not much.
Yes.
Interestingly, but how often should a baby be fed alongside the breast milk at different stages?
Okay, so from 6 months to 9 months, the child is supposed to take like 2 main meals in a day, in addition to the breast milk. Then from 9 months to 12 months, we do 3 plus a snack, in addition to breast milk, which should be consistent.
No, go back again.
So 6 months to 9 months, we are saying 2 main meals. If you can afford 3, cool.
Cool.
Yes, but you add breast milk to it
Alongside. That's almost Germany.
Yes.
but the breast was rented to them for 2 years.
Yes.
It's rented to them because the older people too are waiting. How will it take 2 years? Mrs. Aya has just turned her face and he knows what
6
I'm
months
saying.
is not yet 2 years, so they still have
No,
to
but the
enjoy
point is
the
that
breast
if
milk.
you rent it for 2 years, it's just 2 years is too much.
We just want to make sure the child is safe, has all the things that it needs. We say that when a child becomes stunted, by 2 years you can correct it. So since the breast milk is still having potent nutrients in there, it helps prevent issues of stunting. Especially the mother is not able to give enough of the complementary food. But we always insist that the complementary food has to be adequate enough to prevent stunting, which cannot be resolved after 2 years.
Stunting, which cannot be resolved at 2 years, brings me to how often should a baby be fed alongside breast milk? So what are the common mistakes parents do during these complementary feeding stages?
Okay, so for my practice, I've heard that most mothers do not know what to start the kids with.
Okay.
So they tend to continue breastfeeding even as at the age of 7 months, 8 months, because they don't know what to introduce. And also, mothers that mostly start early, some cases, the children tend to stop eating food and they revert back to what do you call milk. Yes. So it's like the mother have issues or worries because the child is no more taking what they used to take, and they are now insisting on taking continuous breast milk. And I also say that some mothers also come, they start at 6 months, all right, but the way they feed the child makes it difficult for the child to eat, like force feeding, as mostly Ghanaian do. You hold your nose to ensure that you eat. But they forget that
like
it's
Mrs. Aya will hold your nose and pour porridge in your mouth to force you to eat.
It's not easy transitioning from an unknown food
to the complementary.
Yes.
So you have to do it with some care.
Yes. You need to take your time.
Take your time with it.
Yes.
But I know some kids would irrespective of you getting to even 2 years, they will, before they get to the 2 years, after the 6 months, they want to still continue with maybe just different kinds of milks, to be drinking milk. They'll be eat something small and they want to go on the milk, not even the breast milk. They want something different to keep them running. What is that too? Is that their style?
You know, as they are growing,
their tongue becomes so sweet to some things.
The sweetness starts from 6 months. If you introduce your child to sugary things, they become used to it. And the breast milk is already sweet. It has a sweet taste. So we always encourage mothers that you give your child cocoa without adding sugar. You can add the milk to it, so that the milk will be the sweetener in there. You can do porridge instead of using sugar, you use banana, mashed banana in it to sweeten it, so that the child do not pick up the sweetness. We always say that you should introduce your child to early things like calipo, the sweet drinks. They become used to it, they are not able to stop. So eventually, the time, they don't want to eat home food. They want the very sweetened things to consume, which also has some kind of long-term health effects.
Okay.
Because now we have children who are becoming obese, and if care is not taken, they continue to grow up in that state, which also has some comorbidities as they grow at a particular stage in life. So we are encouraging mothers that they should do more of the home food, our fufu, our important our rice, our kokonte, all those things, very soft.
Oh, you just said kokonte. I need a kokonte with pepper. Shito. Yeah. That's what I want to break my fast with today.
No
kokonte with shito.
Okay, so as we're saying, from 9 months to 12 months, the child will do 3 plus 2 snacks.
Okay.
Morning, mid-morning, and mid-afternoon. Then from 12 months onwards, you can do up to 4 main meals plus 2 snacks if you can afford the 4 main meals. Then add the snacks. The child can start fruit as early as 6 months.
Okay.
Example, the citric fruits, just to build or boost the immune system. Yes. So at 6 months, we are saying if it's orange, the mother should adjust a little bit of water to it because of the acidic content. Yeah, but from 7 months going, you can do the raw orange juice and give to the child. So from 9 months, the food has to be like mash, not pureed again.
Okay.
Then 12 months going, it should be like chopped to be able to chew. For them to learn how to chew and not do soft food, because if I find some children still at the age of 2 years don't want to do any actual eating, they want to eat like mashed pureed food because of the way they were introduced to them.
It.
Yes.
But how can caregivers ensure food safety and hygiene for infants?
Okay. So when it comes to food safety and hygiene, you ensure that the bowls that the child eats in is kept separately. You can have a container, you have their bowls there. You ensure that the bowls are washed before the food are dished inside. The spoons, everything is neat and clean. And we have something called responsive feeding when we come to the children. So if you want to feed your child, have a mat. It should, so that you spread the mat. The mat is clean. The food is on the mat. You're also on the mat with the child. You have the child, everything. The child's face, hands are washed, because eventually the child will put the hands in the food. So if the child's hands are not washed before eating, that means the child will be introducing contamination into the system. Yes, so make sure your child's hands are washed, the face are washed. Then your mother, you feed the child while the child also play with some of the food. And realize that doing that really makes the children enjoy the food. We are saying that eating time is play time. It's a time that the children are supposed to enjoy through play. Then they learn how to eat effectively.
Eating time is a playing time. That brings me to what role does nutrition play in brain development during the first 2 years of a child? Okay,
so all our Ghanaian foods are nutrient dense, from our carbohydrates to our proteins and to our fruits and vegetables. So our carbohydrate is supposed to be the energy drive for the kids to be moving about, and our protein is what makes them grow. It makes them grow tall, it makes them grow big. So we are saying that when you, the mother, are feeding the child, ensure that there is protein, enough protein in there. Because it's the protein, lack of protein, that brings about stunting and other malnourished cases. So it's very essential that you introduce protein into your child's diet. That is what makes the food you're giving the child nutrient dense. So the milk, the soya, the granules, they are products that are cheaper to produce, to get, then give to the children. You don't need to resort to very expensive things, the milk that you can't buy.
Well, I was going to ask that, what about low-income parents? How families, would they provide this balanced complementary food you're talking about?
So that's where soya bean comes in. It's very high in protein. The mother just have to buy the soya bean powder, one olonka or something, roast it, make it in powder form. Then add it to every meal she cooks for the kids. Add granules to it. If it's mashed kinky, mash it with granules, some banana, you're good to go. If it's cocoa, you add soya bean powder, a little bit of granules, and the child gets all the nutrients it requires. So you don't need to go and buy anything extra to add to the child's meal.
You don't need to go and buy anything extra old to be able to feed your child, to be able to grow and be healthy. Well, Ghana need healthy kids because our families need, we need to build this nation. But there are signs that shows that a baby is not feeding well or malnourished. How do you determine that?
Okay, so if the child is not growing well, you see, we have the what do you call the maternal and child health record books. Each time the child comes for weighing, we plot their weight.
Okay.
And we have 1 to 4 Stanton. So we measure their length every 3 months.
Okay.
So every month you plot their weight. Their weight will tell you. So we have some Z-scores in between +2 to -2. The child is growing well. +3 and above, the child is growing faster than the required age. If it's between -2 to -3, the child is moderately malnourished. That is where we have a thing called MUACTIV. So we measure the mid-upper arm circumference of the child to assess. If the child is falling below 11.5, you know the child is severely malnourished. Other signs are...
So that's why it's important to go for the weighing to be able to know at that early stage.
Very important.
So the weighing continue for how long?
All the way to 5 years.
All the way to 5
Yes, all the way to 5 years. But from 2 years, you do it like every 6 months, It's not regular. Yes. So for the physical sign, you realize the child doesn't really play as expected, always tired. Apart from that, you realize that there's changes in the hair color. Your child may be black, but all of a sudden you see there's reddish sign. That's what should tell it tells you that no, there's something. Yes. Then some children get edema of the feet, of the arms. So swellings in the feet, swellings in the leg, swellings in the face. That is a very severe state of malnutrition. Then some children get very potty bellies.
Wow.
Yeah. So those are the physical signs that you can also.
Well, so for parents out there, caregivers, I believe that you're taking this education very important and take note of it. If you are not going to the weighing centers, please start going because you need to do it to the age of 5 years. And then you know that your child is getting the required growth. If the earlier you do it, the better it will be so that they can save your child from stunting, so that the growth. I mean, should traditional foods, like you did mention, traditional foods be part of the complementary feeding? If yes, how do we do it?
Okay, so that's what we are advocating for.
Yeah.
Our traditional food should be our complementary foods.
Okay.
So our yam, our fufu, as I said, contain everything. So for example,
if the kid be also pemeko kakra.
Yeah. Yes. Even the child is 9 months can swallow.
Mrs. Ayer promised to give me kukunte when she thought 2 years down the line. 2 years. Mrs. Temaklo is listening to me.
So for example,
Mrs. Chikata, right? Mrs. Chikata, she's reading to me. You don't know Mrs. Chikata. You are in at the Lekma. I don't know Mrs. Chikata. You see yourself. I know everybody there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, before you leave us, before we've talked about why it's important for you to use the traditional foods, I want you to give us an advice. Simple advice would you give to first-time mothers?
Okay, so for first-time mothers, introducing complementary food is not easy. You face some challenges, but you should still keep on and just encourage your child. So beginning, you can decide to start with our local Tom Brown. So you can get some corn, some soya beans, some granules, meal it together, then start feeding the child with it. Then you can also introduce our impotompoto. You can use rice for impotompoto. You can use ripe plantain because children like sweet things. You can use yam for impotompoto. Make sure that you have your fish powder in there, some soya bean powder in there. Something simple for the child. Don't put in spices. If you want to even put in spices, from 9 months or 12 months going, just a little bit introduction of spices to it, but not too much. But ideally, we don't want spices in it. So you can also do normal mashed kenkey, as I said, kenkey with granules, with banana mashed, feed your child. You can also do those things they do in containers that they sell in the malls. So for example, you take apple, you peel the apple, then you can add some banana mashed. So you steam parboil the apple or steam it a little bit, add banana mash. then you can feed your child with it. You can also decide to do watermelon juice. You can do banana puree. You can do pawpaw puree. Your pawpaw, you mash them nicely and add some little bit of milk to it and give to your child. So you don't really need to buy those containers or bottled feeding that they already prepared one for the kids. So the child gets fresh food from the house. You can also introduce kontomire and rice, so very soft. So you do some kontomire stew, add some eggs, some agusi with some fish powder, mash it nicely, and add to the child's meal for the child to consume. You can also have introduction of rice soup, then you add a little bit of yam